Greetings, Indie Warriors, and welcome to another episode of Whose Indie Is It Anyway? This is the show where we delve into our past and share with you some of our favorite indie games that perhaps you missed out on. Let's jump into it here with our first selection. You know, not all that long ago, EA wasn't the hated, embattled game publisher that they are today. In fact, credit where it's due, they used to back at least some smaller indie developers in creating really neat indie experiences. It was the age of Xbox Live Arcade, and it produced some great titles, like Shank. Shank was attempting to revitalize the beat-em-up genre before it was cool to do so. With a slick combination of close-quarters combat sprinkled with ranged attacks, players took control of Shank, a hitman voiced by Marcel Davis, who's on a revenge quest to avenge his girlfriend who's been brutally killed. Interesting here is that you had a single-player campaign, but also a co-op campaign where another player could control 𝐦𝐤𝐿. The two campaigns are radically different from one another, which is cool, as the developers could have easily just tacked on some drop-in multiplayer for the single-player adventure and then called it a day. Originally designed as a tribute to Double Dragon mixed with Tarantino's film techniques, the game was fun to play with an entertaining story written by the co-creator of God of War. Shank was successful at the time and even spawned a sequel, but I'll be damned, it took me scrolling my Steam library to remember the game all these years later. Thankfully, once I saw the first screenshot, it all came flooding back to me quickly. Shank and its sequel are on sale often and typically pretty affordable if you missed out originally, but did you play Shank or the sequel? Let's stick with 2010 and go to 2.5D action title Blade Kitten, which originated from a comic book series. Seriously, check it out at bladekitten.com. The art's really dope. The game takes place 3 years prior to the events within that comic and has you taking control of Kit Ballard, a bounty hunter who just so happens to be one cute kitty. As she sets out to collect money by assassinating the evil Tara Lee, Kit will utilize her blade and platforming skills to mow down enemies, though it can also be tossed to help in solving light puzzles. There are upgrades for Kit that can be earned, secrets to be discovered, and solid gameplay here to take part in. With 19 different levels, Blade Kitten wasn't groundbreaking, but it sure was fun. Interesting little side note here, Atari did originally have the publishing rights to this game, however they ended up being given back to Chrome Studios, and I'll be damned that they ended up putting out an episode 2 quite a few years later. I'll have to check that out myself. Did you ever play Blade Kitten when it came out, however, or did you check out episode 2? Now is the time, because it looks like the developers have made tons of improvements since it originally released. Last selection for this week, and it comes to us from you, the audience. This week we have 𝐷𝐷𝐴, who commented on our last episode, quote, "I don't know if this counts, but Eastshade is a great exploration game that not nearly enough know about. You play as an artist traveling to an island to fulfill your mother's final wish. The game is beautiful with plenty of incredible scenery around every corner and beyond every hill. The map is big enough to make it satisfying to explore, but small enough that it doesn't get tedious, and the side quests are some of the most fun, surprising, and endearing ones I've ever played. To say anything more would give away more than I think is right. One of Eastshade's great pleasures is discovering the game for yourself, which I recommend everyone to do." Well, thank you so much, 𝐷𝐷𝐴, for sharing this title with us. Yet another game I have not played, so we appreciate you greatly. And thank you so much for watching Whose Indie Is It Anyway? We hope this was a fun trip down memory lane and that we helped you to discover a new hidden indie gem. As always, we appreciate you liking the video and subscribing to the channel for all the latest indie gaming content. We have tons of reviews, gameplay impressions, live streams here at I Dream of Indie Games, and maybe even consider becoming a channel member if you would like to further support independent content and help us bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming.